All right, welcome guys to the interactive collaborate session. So this one we're going to go over a few things to do with your online course. I'm going to reference both the Diploma of Business as well as the Dual Diploma of Business Leadership and Management and the Certificate 4. The reason that I'm going to be doing that is so that we can use this recording to help the other students as well if they weren't able to make this session. So on the screen in front of you, you can see the interactive whiteboard. You've got the ability to interact there by using your top left-hand icons. That's going to be used a few times throughout our session. Sometimes I may even put a PowerPoint up there. You can make your own notes on that PowerPoint as well. Another ability that we have is to share applications and screens, and I'm going to start sharing my screen with you now. So here you can see the dashboard. So mine looks a little bit different to yours. And the reason that that is a little bit different is I'm a lecturer and you're a student. You'll still have a notice board, but it will be a student notice board. You'll still have my tasks, and you can add tasks there if you like, a way to keep yourself on track. You've also got your tools, which includes announcements. If I make an announcement, it'll usually appear sort of here underneath your notice board in a similar fashion to this. The other option that is available in your student Blackboard area is the bottom right hand corner usually has a countdown for when you need to change your password. So your student password at South Rachel TAFE will need to be updated every 90 days. So keep an eye on that little countdown. You've also got a current training area here. Now mine's obviously very long because I've got a few different courses that I'm working on at the same time. If you're in Diploma of Business, it will show you Diploma of Business, likewise for Cert 4, etc. So looking at the Diploma of Business course, if I click on that one, we should load. And this is how it's going to look for you. So there's a nice little welcome area here. Goes over the skills and knowledge that we're going to cover throughout this session. Typically, the qualification is suited to people who are already working in an executive role or in a coordination role, but it can lead to a variety of work roles. So if you aren't holding one of those jobs at the moment, this could be a really good stepping stone for you. Scrolling down, and we have the Before You Begin icon. Now I'll just point out that if you notice a title that the arrow doesn't change to a hand, you can't click any further into that. So you need to look for when the hand icon comes up, and we can click in and view some more content. So the first item there is your learner needs checklist. Clicking on that one, and it's about 4 or 5 questions long, and that's just to give us an idea of any extra support that you may need. Once we understand that you have a need, we can fill it. If you don't communicate to that to us, then we're not going to be able to. So if you want to disclose something to us in a more private way, not that anyone else can see this, then please feel free to email or call us. And I'll go through our contact in a minute. Scrolling down, and here's some information about your assessments. Now the main thing that you need to understand is that your assessment must be accompanied by a signed cover sheet. Okay, so most of your assessments will be given to you in a Word document way, but if you need to sign it, then you'll have to change it into a PDF format and sign it, or else take a scanned copy of your signature and input that as an image. But obviously the preference is for us to have a PDF. So there's some information there about your assessments, and there's also a video. It's a short video that you can watch to help you understand how to sign and submit your assessments. Make sure with assessments that you're always observing your due dates. If you don't think that you're going to be able to make a due date, then you need to let us know in advance. Don't wait until the due date to tell us. If we know in advance, there are things that we can do to support you and to make sure that you get extensions. If you have a look down here at the Student Code of Conduct, so this little icon here is turning into a hand, that is a downloadable document. So it's a PDF of the Student Code of Conduct. Now, even though you're working in an online environment, there are still expectations and responsibilities that you have as a student. Plagiarism is one of the main ones that I'd like to point out at this time. Don't just copy and paste things into your assessments. We will know your language and the way that you're formatting things will change. And we also cross-reference these things when we're marking assessments. So plagiarism is a big one. If you do need to copy and paste something, for example, a part out of a piece of legislation, make sure you're making reference to the owner of that that document, as well as the reason that you're copying and pasting. So a few little points there. There's also in the Student Code of Conduct, our ways that we discipline students is outlined there as well. So please have a look at that document. So once you've got access to this platform, I'm aware some of you don't have that, and that's because of the enrolment process. If you're finding that a little bit difficult, please provide feedback to Student Services. We can't change the process unless you let us know that it doesn't work. So popping back to our introduction now. Once we've completed the before you begin, there's also some recognition of prior learning information there. Clicking on that website link there will take you to that information if you feel like recognition of prior learning is something that you desire. Again, there's a little bit further information here about your recognition of prior learning, and also some contact information about who you can talk to if you think that that's a track you want to go down. Moving along to our contacts. So here's me. My name's Lenore, Lecturer of Business at Esperance. There are actually 3 of us. We have myself. I come from a more accounting and bookkeeping background. I've also owned and operated my own business. Hospitality has been a big part of my working history as well, so I may draw on those experiences from time to time. I'm also a mother of a 10-year-old and 8-year-old, so if I kind of look a little flustered sometimes, that's why. There's my contact information there. I prefer if you try and contact me between the hours of 9 and 3, just because I still do my school pickup and drop off, but I am available after 3 o'clock if you need me. Tonya, there's a little bit of information about her. She's more in our leadership and management side of things. Really strong wealth of experience in leadership and management, including in local government. The 3rd lecturer, we are yet to add some information there because she's actually been away on some long service leave. Her name's Michelle. She's been a lecturer for a really long time at South Regional TAFE. Very experienced and highly qualified lady, and we'll add her contact information once she's back from leave. Finally, we have the administration for Blackboard. Liz is a lovely lady. She's very, very helpful. So if you are having any difficulty navigating Blackboard and using Blackboard, please feel free to give her a buzz. She can run you through some things, give you tutorials. That sort of support is found there. There's also some support services that South Regional TAFE offers. So if you are struggling with anything, whether it be keeping up with timelines, maybe you've got some accessibility issues, please let us know and we can help you out there. Okay, before I move on to the learning content, I just wanted to welcome a couple of extra people who have just joined the session, Danielle and Nicole. Welcome. Just letting you know that this session is being recorded. I noticed that you haven't got your videos on, so image isn't being used, but anything that you say will be recorded. If you don't want to be recorded, just jump onto the chat button at the bottom left-hand side, and you can type something to me there if you need me to answer a question or you want to interject anything. Is that okay with you guys? If you could just either click the raise your hand button or type in the chat bar, that would be great. Awesome. Thanks, guys. So just so you know that on the bottom of your screen there, you'll have the raise hand button. Looks like a little man raising his hand. Okay, so moving along to our learning content. So this area here is going to expand. As we move through the different units, you're going to see them come up along the left-hand side there. So at the moment, the only one that you have available is Manage Personal Work Priorities. For some students, this may be different. If you've already managed to be marked competent in the Managed Personal Work Priorities, you may have a different unit available, or you may have other content available in a different course. So an introduction about the actual unit is available for every unit that we do. There will be a training plan will be available for every unit, and that's going to give you things like due dates, how an assessment process works, and I'll delve into that a little bit further in a minute. It's also going to give you an outline of the timeline that it's going to take you, so what assessments, what tasks and learning activities should be done by when. If you have a look there, it's got that this unit will require you to attend one online class per fortnight. So every fortnight at 5:30, I'll be here on a Wednesday for Diploma, Monday for Cert 4. We join the class through either the Blackboard portal, and I'll show you how to do that shortly, or else you'll be emailed a link if your student ID hasn't been granted yet. On top of that, there's a minimum of 5 hours of learning per week, independent, and that's going to be in this area here, which is called our learning content area. You'll also have your textbooks that you need to work through. If you need any further support, please contact me. But the idea is that on the off week where we don't have a class, we'll be scheduling in times for each person to have a one-on-one session with a lecturer. At the start, it will definitely be me, but as we move through different units, different lecturers have different experience and they may step in to help with those one-on-ones. Any questions on anything so far? No? Okay. So down here we have some instructions for completing your learning content. Follow them carefully. The instructions will change for the different units. So make sure that you do have a good read and just check that things haven't changed. The format that you submit things, for example, may change. If you see little blue writing like this where your hand comes over it, that's going to link you to an external web page. This one here is actually a really cool little TikTok that you can watch, little video, only 60 seconds of your life. Little bit of inspiration for you. Scrolling down, I have some further learning content for you. So each of these is a little video about something to do with the learning content that you will be exploring throughout this unit. Each unit will have its own individualized learning content that will help you go through the unit. Further down, we have the additional reading library. So this is where we click into here. And these are individual documents that will assist you with your learning. Sometimes I will call upon you to download this prior to a classroom session. So I will give you instructions to come here, download a particular document, have a read of it, and have it ready to do a learning activity during the class. That reading library will grow as well, and if you are completing your own research and you find something that you think would be really helpful for other people as well, please let us know. We really want to make sure that our resources are improving constantly, so if you can let us know if you find something particularly helpful, that'd be great. Lastly, we have the assessments area. So each unit will have its own assessments area. At the moment, I haven't uploaded your assessments because I want you to complete your learning content first. So I'll make sure that we go through our classroom and our textbook learning before I allow access to your assessments. That's just because I find that sometimes people will skip parts of the learning content and just attempt your assessment first. The reason that I want to avoid that is because you only have 3 chances. So you will submit your assessment once. If there is reason for a not yet competent mark, you'll be given feedback as to why, and some pointers on how to improve on that to move on to the competent mark. Failing that attempt, if you need a further attempt after that, you'll be given that feedback, you make the changes, you submit. The third time you'll be given a secondary assessment, completely different assessment to attempt. If you are unsuccessful in completing that assessment, unfortunately it means that you need to re-enroll in the entire unit. So we want to really avoid that, because obviously it's time and money for everybody involved. And at the end of the day, I'm here because I want to see you succeed. So making sure that you're completing all of your learning activities is really important. Are there any questions so far? Nope, we're all pretty good. Okay, so moving down here, we have the Collaborate virtual classroom. So if you weren't sent a link, this is how you would join our classroom sessions. It's also where you'll find recorded sessions. So you can see here that we've got the meet and greet. That's tonight's session and it's in progress. So as we record sessions, they'll become available here. As new sessions are opened up, they'll also become available here. So just make sure that you're checking the title and the date of those before you attempt to view them. You also have discussion boards here. Now you can create your own forum, and I may from time to time start them as well. Sometimes a learning activity will be for you to actually create a forum and discuss amongst different students different opinions on topics. When you start these forums, just be mindful of profanity and the way that you're coming across with people. Be respectful of one another. This is also a really great way for you to answer questions. Say it's a weekend and I'm not available, or one of the other lecturers isn't available. You can always ask a question in this forum and have other students check it and answer it for you. It could also be that someone else has already asked that question and you find value in the answers provided. The My Grades section won't be used too much in these courses. All of the assessments that I provide will be through external documents, not actually built into the Blackboard system. I find it's a little bit difficult sometimes to write a proper essay or proper answer something in the actual Blackboard sessions. Okay, so I just want to go over our timeline a little bit. So obviously our first unit is the Manage Work Priorities. The second unit that we're going to look at will be Manage Payroll. The third is going to be Identify and Evaluate Marketing Opportunities. And the fourth is Undertake Project Work. Now I would expect that those 4 units would be completed by the end of term 2. The last 3, we should actually have 4 there, there's one missing, I'm sorry. Sorry, 4. The last 4 should be by the end of term 4, and that's your qualification done. So you've got 8 units completely for the Diploma of Business. Once you've completed those 8, it's your choice if you want to go on and complete another 4 to make a dual Diploma of Business, Leadership and Management. So those 4 will be completed in the second year though. Any questions about that? Nope, all good. Okay. Is anyone unsure about the timeline or what is actually required or expected of them? Okay, I'm just going to go over some basic expectations to make sure that everyone is across that. So number 1, I really hope that you guys can see the value in these online Collaborate sessions. Attending your once a fortnight classroom is a collaboration. If there's only 1 or 2 of us, we're not going to get out of it what is intended. Classrooms provide us a way to discuss and Q&A and really have a combination of minds working on the one topic. If all you're doing is reading your textbook, you're not going to get the enrichment from the learning. Also, I'd really appreciate it if we can schedule everyone to have the one-on-one sessions in the opposite week, even if it's just an hour, or if we schedule them and you kind of go, you know what, I feel like for this unit I don't really need the extra help, that's completely fine, we can cancel it. But as long as we have that schedule in place, it means that you've got the access to the support. So next week will be our first lot of fortnightly classes. So Monday from 5:30 will be the Certificate 4 in Business. Wednesday from 5:30 will be the Diploma of Business, and that will be our actual learning content. So where do we start? For the Diploma, your starting place is going to be here. Reading and making notes on Chapter 5 concepts, 5.1, 5.2, 5.5 of your textbook. Some of you have a hard copy, some of you have an e-copy. That's completely fine. If you haven't got your resource yet, can you please let me know? I can organise for copies from Student Services here to be posted to you. The second step that you're going to take is to read and make notes on Chapter 9, Concepts 9.1 and 9.2 of the textbook. So that's the first two things that we need to do in the next 7 days. Would be really great. Once we've done that, we'll have our first online classroom. We'll do some activities, we'll have some discussions, those sorts of things. Once you've done the reading and you've done your first classroom session, the next step will be to make sure that you explore these additional learning contents here. I'm also going to provide you with a workbook, and I can show you that right now. So this student workbook here, and I have set this up so that your documents will open in a separate tab like this, so you can actually read them while you're online. But if you click this arrow at the top, you can actually download, you can print, and you've got a few extra options there as well. Don't forget that you can also navigate through your pages using this area here, simply typing in the page that you want, and you've got your zooming as well. So we can scroll through this and have a look here. These are activities. So activity 1 is provide some examples of characteristics of a positive role model. So these are activities that you will go through as you work your learning content out. I will direct you when I need this to be completed by at our first class. So once again, I just wanted to cover the interface of Blackboard, just for those of you that joined a little bit late. So if you have a look at, I'm just going to stop sharing my screen now and share your whiteboard instead. So this is our interactive whiteboard. Top left-hand corner, we can type and we can draw as well. In the middle at the bottom of the screen is the control for your microphone, the control for your video feed, and also the raise hand icon. To the left, you'll have the option of your chat. For some sessions, you'll be able to chat individually. For other sessions, it will be a group chat. And by clicking on that one, you also have the option of emojis, which I encourage the use of because sometimes in text it can be a little bit difficult to understand how we're coming across. You should also have a settings bar there, which will help you set up your microphone and your camera if you're having difficulty with it. And just a final note that your Blackboard Collaborate sessions are available on your mobile phones and tablets. So if you don't feel like you want to sit there with your laptop or with a desktop computer, more than welcome to join through your mobile phone or tablet. Just please make sure that you can use a microphone so that when we're in discussions, it's a little easier for us to chat. Okay, I'm going to stop the recording now.